All right. We should be live, right?
We are. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. How's it going? Welcome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I don't know why it doesn't show up on our Twitter page. Weird.
Really?
Yeah, like maybe it might be just me.
Uh,
And it's bugged. Hmm.
no, it's all good.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, good then. Good.
Just a bit slow.
Uh, yeah. So, welcome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're gonna have a little shorter stream as we all have a lot of meetings and a lot of other things to do. And I am also not hyper fit, as everything basically hurts. So yeah, let's basically get to it. Today, as always, with me, my wonderful co-host Aris. Aris, I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a good weekend. Um, uh, so what's happening here? Like a lot of dumps in the market, a lot of uncertainty, and then all of a sudden we're going back up. So what's happening? Do you have any good explanation for it?
Well, I'm not sure if you saw recently, but Sailor just bought back around 100 million of Bitcoin.
Yep.
Um, like 1,500 Bitcoin after dumping the 32.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Bitmine
pretty fun.
also just bought, I think, 200 million worth of ETH. So,
Yeah, yeah. But it's like because it caused so much panic and so much fear around him selling that, and then he just got in with I don't even know what times the amount, way more for like about 50 times the amount he sold at a way lower price. And it's a bit of a Uno reverse on everyone else who dumped into that fear there. But yeah, I mean, about the market, I don't know. It never that was kind of the most insane dump we've seen in a long time. Um, I think like if you check the RSI and actually how low that is on like the daily, for example, it's like it's like one of the lowest ever. I think it was the lowest ever actually, which is insane.
yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah, it's 17 or something. It's about the lowest since like 2020. Okay, yeah, 2019 was definitely lower, but 6 years or something, right? So it's I don't know. It's like it never like the bear market. There's always kind of like a stagnant period, right, where people think like, oh, it's just not going to go back up, and that's where people are accumulating and stuff. And so I do think we have to test the bottom a little bit more, but we haven't really seen. Yeah, I mean, you can't drop that much without pulling back somewhat. So we'll see, but I do think we go a little bit lower. We at least test this kind of bottom range again, maybe like 56K max, one more kind of sweep below, and then yeah, I'd say it's after that
There's a good
we're
possibility for it. I mean, in a perfect world, we have peace tomorrow, and like, people sign agreements and shit like that. But so far, it never went perfect, right? So, it might have just been a quick like relief of some steam to to not completely blow off the lid, right? So
yes.
that could be one of the factors. But I mean, you know, in general, inconsistency in politics gives the stock market normally warrant to do whatever it wants. This time we just see the biggest discrepancy ever. It's like inflation is super high, yet however stocks were doing wonderful up until the S&P 500 last week. We had a little dump there, but so I'm thinking about what really comes from this. Is it not maybe something that we're just at the moment in a channel that is like designed for fear, right? Everybody that bought in here and bought the plus 70, 80, 90K in that channel is full of fear right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see how this plays out. If we go higher, if people start taking profits early, or if people want to really ride it out this time. So we'll have to see and wait, I guess. But it's interesting. And while we're doing that, basically, let's list, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 tokens here. And then we'll go straight to your screen. We'll do a couple of trades. We'll look at a couple of tokens. And then we'll buy 1 or 2 of those tokens from Dex Screener on Sol. So what do you think?
Sounds like a plan. Let's do it.
Good. Then let's list some base tokens. Give me a second.
I gotta actually, yeah, I'll need to, let me redeposit into my Vibe account because I wasn't watching those trades we placed before, and not much left there, you could say.
Oh, well, you should watch the trades, of course,
I should, yeah, yeah.
brother.
Well, the market kind of just died, so
Yeah, true.
and low caps with leverage that happens,
All
but it's
right. So we're gonna list dead, bury the badger, based paper, and kibble. Let's go. Let's copy the contract. Works. Base contract address in. Okay, that's accurate. We like that. Dead. Use the address. All the dead works. B941. Yep. And we'll send that in. Click on done, and we should be ready there. Let's create another pool. Bury the badger. Let's just quickly check it if it's accurate. Oh. Huh. Well, I mean, it's the address, but you can't find it. Let's see if we can pull the pool. You can actually, but there's maybe some little issue there. Because if it went up in the last 24 hours, oops, wrong wallet, then it would have had some trades on it, and it should show on deck screen, all right? Or maybe it just went up because ETH went up, right? Could also be.
that,
And there
yeah, yeah.
wasn't any trades, but it was just ETH going up. Could be. Well, we'll see if it gets rejected. We'll see the issue then. Good. Second one, I like this. This goes super quick. Like listing tokens. This is enclosed beta is like, already super smooth. So can't wait for people to see. Oops. When we go into V2, it's gonna be really good. It'll be really good.
Yes. I can only imagine the
This works.
like pump fund partnership, for example, in the future, where others left where you're launching a token and you automatically choose like, I don't know, 5% of what you buy just of the supply just goes directly into Vibe. That'd be a very yeah, cool feature for the trenches.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like over time, we will 100% build more and more cool things for the trenches, right? Even if it's just a little tool or anything, right? That you just said, like those things we can for sure tackle once Vibe is fully live and stable, and has the liquidity and has the traders, etc., and we're fully live running. Then we can also put
But
some
someone else
priority
can
on
just
other
build
things.
that, right?
Oh,
right now.
yes. Hey, everyone. Just so you know, we have Lafa joining us for today. Lafa's gonna talk a little bit with us. So, thank you very much, Lafa, for coming in.
Yep.
How are you
I
doing
dived
today?
right in. Doing
Yeah, yeah,
good.
yeah. I saw. Yeah, yeah. So sorry I interrupted you very rudely. You wanted to say something.
Yeah, I think any like other people can just build a launchpad, right? That launches tokens directly on Vibe. Don't think Vibe itself has to build it.
Yeah, and I mean we have the community builders program as well, right? That we're announcing very soon, where we already have the first and the second participant building cool new tools basically on top of Vibe. So there's always going to be things to do and lovely things to take care of, basically. But
I
real
see
quick,
it like that. As soon as Vibe is doing like 10, 50 million daily volume, you're gonna have 100 projects a month building around Vibe.
yeah, yeah, exactly,
Because it's
yeah,
it's it's a new primitive, like when Uniswap launched, or like when Uniswap started to doing volume in like 2020, you had thousands of projects. I mean, they call it now DeFi summer, but
that's true.
what it really was people
Uniswap,
discovering what you can do with Uniswap. Exactly.
yeah.
With the LPs, like you can build projects around the LPs. You can list your own project on Uniswap and do something with that. You can fork Uniswap. That was also a big thing, but it was just all around building on Uniswap, and that's typical if you have a new primitive. I really think that we
Hello?
didn't really
Oh,
have we didn't really have that type of primitive for like a long time. If you look at Pump Fun, great. Okay, what did they really build around that? It's just terminals, right? Just as
yeah.
user interfaces. Now we have Hyperliquid. What are they really building around that? It's basically just token listing. They list other tokens. So you have trade XYZ, they're just listing commodities. Right? It's not like they're building something other than an interface with a specific token. Um, but here with Vibe, you have basically unlimited possibilities, as you have now a new type of dimension in the token listing. So you have
Yeah, that
Uniswap,
is
and you
that
have
is true.
leverage, shorting. You have yield, something that mm, basically no project has, right? Nothing nothing in crypto can generate yields out of itself. You always need some type of lending market, or it's inflationary. So, or you have like the LP with the impermanent loss, where everyone already like it's done, right? There's nothing cool you can do uh, with that as well. So yeah, I don't think Vibe should be building all of that stuff themselves, because it takes away the
Oh yeah, 100%. Uh,
yeah.
you're right, and I think that's the cool thing, right? With Vibe, there's a little bit of something to build for everyone, kind of. Like there's 100 different things you can do, and they will always benefit your
Million,
ecosystem. Then, yeah,
like
millions
million.
of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a good part. But one step back to what one can do with Vibe, like let's go through it maybe one by one, right? Where it's probably very interesting for all the people out there to understand, okay, what are the benefits to becoming or to being an LP on Vibe, right? To one multiple tokens. What are the benefits to the traders, the community members, right? When they can drive different strategies and so on. So I think we should start with, the biggest elephant in the room, which I would say are LPs, right? What are the actual benefits for LPs with Vibe? Like we had a lot of people ask in the last couple of weeks. So, just wanted to
It's very,
touch back on that subject.
in my opinion, if you like, a lot of people are thinking that finance is this complex, abstract thing, But if you distill it down to what it really is there's two sides. One is the side that has a lot of assets, a lot of value. They hold a lot of value. And then you have the other side, they want exposure. Um, so if you have someone holding a lot of value, then he wants yield. So if you have someone holding a lot of assets in a token, then he wants yield on that assets. And then there's the other side that maybe wants exposure to these assets. In the typical financial world, you have to go through a trillion hoops in order to make your assets earn yield. Maybe most of the assets is so regulated, you have to pay like 50 middlemen until you can earn some yield. um, or you just get the yield that is like the base yield. And what is that base yield really? There's on the other side, there's people that want exposure. If you go to banks, right, there's people that lend an asset and people that borrow an asset. But in the banking world, that is so like stripped down and regulated that you don't even get any of that real yield, right? So
Yep.
then, or you can have real estate and then you rent it, and then you have lots of issues as well because there's also so much middleman and regulation and risks involved. But what Vibe is doing is that it takes this concept and it brings it to every token. Now every token has a predefined, permissionless, easy and simple way. You just go on the pools page and you click new pool, and you create that financial asset, which is on one side you have a whale that wants APR and yield, and on the other side you have someone who wants exposure. And is a simplest, most basic, and the most fundamental part of any financial economy. I think a lot of people are not they're not realizing, and they look at Vibe, that it is exactly that. So it's like Vibe is, in my opinion, is the base primitive. Everything else is built on top of something like Vibe. Because
Hmm.
first you need to solve the basic financial need, which is on one side you have guys with a lot of assets, and on the other side you have guys that want exposure to these assets. Vibe connects these two together, and then obviously maybe some tokens there's a lot more people that want yield than there's people that want exposure, right? But that's asset unique to the asset itself, right?
And
It's
there's
not
also people
under.
that want to maybe change the way they are exposed to something, right? When we talk about just with a perps market coming different existing trading strategies that you can now employ as a holder, right? Um,
When I say exposure, I mean any exposure. It can be long,
okay,
short,
yeah.
leveraged. It doesn't mean.
Hmm.
It's just that. So- some it's it's all like you have to realize that it's all finance is only that. It's like exposure and holdings and yield, APRs. That's it. There's nothing else. Everything else is just a different way of expressing that view. Yeah.
Yeah. And staking is like a dry aged beef, basically, that you just leave a little bit longer in and then it is worth a little bit more, probably. So, well, you can always, make these
Depends. It always
parallels
de-
to,
it always
yeah.
depends how the yield is generated.
Yeah, of course.
If your
Yeah.
yield is
Exactly.
just inflationary, then the staking is bullshit.
A
If you're
100%.
staking,
Like,
if your yield is generated by people looking to get exposure to the asset, then it's like real yield.
hmm hmm and I
And
had this talk last week with someone, and this fits perfectly what you just said, just real quick. Like, the person basically told me, it's like, hey, we got staking and everybody's earning more tokens. But at one point they want to sell, and then they're gonna hurt the chart. So, and like basically the answer from me was Vibe can help them realize, right, in USDC. They don't have to sell. They can just bootstrap a pool, LP, and realize with the USDC cash they're making, basically. So it also helps projects to lessen the fall, basically, I feel like. Would you agree with that?
the projects are just on the side that, or the stakers are just the ones that hold the asset. It's very simple. If the asset doesn't generate yield, a holder at some point will sell. That is
Yep.
just natural. That is that's like just basic human psychology. But the crypto market is so early that actually nothing is really working. That's why we're doing all these weird things. We don't even have the most basic financial tools in crypto. That's how early we really are. I mean, and most of the users that don't really see it. Like we have now again, I like this bear market that we're in right now. I feel for me it feels like 2018 because everyone is losing hope. Everyone is saying, "Oh my God, it's over." Now the AI will just hack every project. In reality, it's just like 2018 where people were max depressed. In my
Yep.
opinion, we don't even have the most basic financial primitives on chain right now.
Hmm.
We have something where people can lend, okay, but it doesn't work. It only works for the top 50 or top 20 assets. We have order books that can launch perps, but yeah, but it doesn't work for everything. And then we have Uniswap where everyone and Pump Fund where everyone can launch a token, but it's just a spot asset and it doesn't generate yield, so people can just dump it. There's nothing to do. So in that regard, we are like super, 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 super early. And meanwhile, other people are thinking like, oh my God, we're already done. It's already everything was already done and there's nothing left. And actually the industry is over because sailors dumping 32 Bitcoin. That's really how
That's
people
the threat the industry is hanging on, right? That's basically the Damocles sword hanging above us. It's like Sailor sold 32 Bitcoin, the market's shit. Like everybody is is in fear now. So it's also like, how like what do you say, fragile our ecosystem is, right? Because it
it's
just
normal.
like builds on
Look,
a couple of people.
if you're early to something, then every corner looks like the last corner. There's only a few people that actually can see a vision where it's heading. Um, just as a comparison, if you look internet companies before 2000, right? And I wouldn't say I think crypto as a market with Bitcoin as an asset, it's quite mature. But DeFi, I'm talking mainly about DeFi, so on-chain finance is very very immature and still very very basic in what can be done. I mean, launching tokens that everyone can launch tokens is a like biggest innovation that crypto brought forward. But these assets that are being launched are totally boring and there's nothing to do with them and there's no financial infrastructure around them.
Yep.
So Vibe is really Vibe looks like it's this goofy platform where it's like everything is like meme and like, but it's actually the most innovative financial application probably of the decade or maybe even more because being able to just strip down any asset to its core fundamental value, which is yield and exposure, and just
Hmm.
enabling anyone to to express that view, right? If you have an asset, you want yield. If you don't have the asset, you want exposure. That's pure finance, and it's really. And I think many people look at Vibe and they don't really get it, and I think that's going to change soon, because smart people will get it. Um, so yeah, and I feel like a lot of we see more and more and more. So when I'm listening to what you guys are doing and following right in the chats we have together and seeing screenshots of what people and KOLs are telling you, then I feel like more and more people are waking up. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just always been the thing of customer education, right? Like every time you bring something that is a new frontier, where you say people only see the next as the last corner, right? Then it's always hard you have to give them some time to wrap their head around something that is so completely different from all the existing things, right? And that brings us, I think, to the next point, which I think why Vibe also is so interesting. We have so many assets that are now becoming or getting tokenized, and all these assets, as you said, they're only assets if there's like a secondary, right, or like something there that makes the market whole, basically. So with having these RWAs becoming more prominent and more tokenizations coming in, how would Vibe fit in there in your mind?
Again, same thing. Anyone who has an asset wants yield. Anyone who doesn't have the asset wants exposure. It works
So
for
what
every
would
asset.
these people do? They would come to Vibe, right? They would create a new pool, and instead of like being holding the asset for months to come and then being fed up with it and selling it for sometimes even a loss, they would be able to just shelter the asset a little bit better and just yield of it on a constant basis. Is that correctly explained?
Yeah, yeah. I guess
You know,
in a sense, look, let's say you have a car, you don't want the car anymore, you need a platform to sell it. Okay?
yeah.
You have a house, you want to rent the house, you need a platform to rent the house. What are you doing in crypto right now if you want to earn yield on your asset?
Putting it
What
into
platform do
Aave.
you go? Aave doesn't list it. Aave has not listed it. Got to go through 18,000 DAO proposals until I get my asset listed. What do I do?
Mm, um, I put it, I don't know, like maybe somewhere at a third grade lending market.
Doesn't work. They're not gonna list it. Chainlink doesn't support it as Oracle. They only have Chainlink oracles.
um, oh, I'm running out of options here.
You see, it's like the most basic need for a for a financial asset is that it can somehow be productive and earn yield. Otherwise, there's like no reason. Like imagine from tomorrow renting out houses would be not possible anymore. Like renting out a house. Housing market would collapse next day.
Yeah.
There's no
So,
if my house doesn't earn any yield, then what it's done. You won't even find buyer.
yeah.
Um, for a car, it's different. Like it's a bad comparison because you can use your car to get somewhere, right? I mean, you can also just live in your house, and maybe that would also be a much better future. Right? Stop speculating on assets that people actually need for their life, and start speculating on assets that are just financial products.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so in crypto right now, we do not even serve that basic need. Vibe is here to change that, and I think it's true innovation. It's true, yeah, pioneering spirit, and it's on purpose that this website is being done so in this goofy and like funny look with that
I would
shape there,
call it
because that's
entertaining way.
yeah, I think, but it's on purpose that it's done like
Yeah.
that, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That because it makes it even it makes it even funnier, that this website is actually beating all of finance, all of Wall Street, um, in all possible ways, and it looks like yeah, a
It
meme
looks
page,
like it looks.
like
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's entertainment, right? It's not just. It's built for literally everyone, right? And like that's where we have to just say like entertainment is coming short in this space, right? So building something that with its use is just entertaining and is fun to use and is fun to look at is also, a big thing that the industry is sometimes not even taking serious here. So that's why, Vibe is also I feel like you would recognize Vibe from like 1,000 other perp dexes, right? And that's the thing.
yeah,
That's the exact brand and that's exact marketing, this the little star that you want. So it's recognition. And I feel like that's where Vibe comes in so heavy for me. Is like it actually does something for these daily news traders, right? There's so many tokens launched daily because something happened again in the market. And most of the time, you're just late to those tokens. You like, it's hard for you to get exposure. So if it's listed on Vibe, you can much easier build your position in a much more capital efficient way, right? Without having to be basically always early. And in general, you can long all the awesome tokens. And should there be a bad one, you can even short it. So, Aris, we haven't heard from you. What's your biggest thing about Vibe? Basically, your biggest your most likable point.
Yeah, I've just been listening to the master class going on between you two. Um, yeah, there's so many things. It's when your woman asks you what you like about her, and you're like, well, it's
So,
it's not
trick question.
exactly one thing
Don't
that I
answer.
can exactly, yeah. But really, like it's just looking at it from I guess, a business perspective, and the size of the market that's available for it, with the amount of competition, or people trying to get at it. Um, I love seeing a really good opportunity and a huge gap that's waiting to be filled. And I think, like, the millions of tokens that are on chain, with none of them that have a perp market, and being able to fill that is a very exciting, um, yeah, it's a very exciting thing, I think. And yeah, that's a big one for me, is just the market that's available for us to
Yeah, the
capture.
addressable market. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And that's cool. Like, we always ask these people, ask some people in calls, right? It's like, hey, just take a guess how many tokens were launched last year, on the
Mhm.
year before, right? And then they say like, oh, well, maybe like we had answers from 15,000 to 80,000. And then you ask them how many perps markets came out of it, and they mostly say like, oh, thousands, right? And well, most of the time people are super off with their numbers, because like in total it was 60 million tokens launched, and there was like maybe 500 perps markets on them. So the gap in existence here is probably the biggest gap to fill. And Vibe is basically the only product out there that is actively able to do that, without having weird proposals, having to have millions of dollars in liquidity ready, or in USDC to pay for certain listings. Vibe is completely free. You don't pay anything to list. You don't need any liquidity pairing, just supply. And that's what I think makes the biggest difference here, is now it's accessible to everyone. It's fully permissionless perpetual market creation. Everybody can create or add to an existing market. So that's the big point with Vibe. And we always have to say it. I know many of you out there know that, but repeating it for the new viewers is always also important, right? So with that being said, we don't have a lot more time today. We wanted to go and showcase, of course, what Vibe can do. And the best showcase is that we go to Deck Screener and we quickly pick a nice token that we can grab. Lafa, would you do the honors for us today, and throw up your Deck Screener page, and help us pick out a Solana token that we're buying, that we're listing?
Do we have Pippin listed already? Or wait, what about these bounty works? I think it's interesting. I think it's funny.
Yeah,
We
that's pretty
don't have
insane.
Pippin listed. No. Bounty work we don't have listed either. Um, it's funny. Is
Mm,
that the guy that
what
jumped
about
out of a
Kins?
plane?
No, man, it's that guy who tattooed his.
Tattooed his head, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think Kins could be interesting.
How do you spell that? Where is
Kin
that?
Kintara,
Oh, Kintara, yeah. Mm, it's a
an
nice little
isometric
game.
MMO where you play to earn, buy and sell. Kint. 5,000 players. I guess these guys could be interesting to list and contact them.
Yeah, 100%. Cool.
Other than
Ooh, I
that,
like that. It's like old school graphics. Nice. Yeah, they look good. We'll buy some of them.
mm, Magpie, permissionless lending, borrow soul.
Hello? Ah, now it works. Okay. Good. Let's buy one soul of Kintara enlisted. God damn it. Soul is only worth $66 now. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
How did this like God? This is really like Solana is always taking the biggest hits right into the face. Oh, by the way, Lafa, while we're listing, we were building portfolios the last stream. If you would have to pick 5 tokens to put into your treasury and just hold for the next years, what would you buy?
Pretty tough right now.
Yeah. I mean, in these markets, it's always tough, but you know.
I would be exposed to Sim and Vibe, Bitcoin. Probably still Zcash.
One
Hype.
more.
Yeah, and I guess since we're building on Hype, for sure also Hyperliquid. These 5, yeah.
Yeah. See that the same.
I think,
That's a good portfolio to have.
yeah. I mean, I've had this conversation a few days ago with someone. I was like, yes, look, right now, if you talk to a normal person, they actually believe Bitcoin is like private. Okay. They
Mm-hmm.
think, so if you talk to, you go out of the streets, you talk about Bitcoin, you're like, oh yeah, that's these private coins. You send someone money and then you tell him, oh, you know, you have to declare that. He was like, why? Isn't it all hidden? Um,
Mm.
Imagine what happens once the general public understands that they get just one day one government comes out and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we track all Bitcoin transactions and all your Ethereum transactions and everything.
Mm.
At that moment, everyone will be like, oh fuck, I need Zcash. So
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. There's a lot of issues that we haven't like faced yet in this space that are just coming slowly, you know, talking about unrealized gains taxation in the Netherlands, right? Um, uh, where they are now actively basically looking for people that make a lot of profit and are hiding it. I mean, they've done that before, but you know, with crypto becoming more and more popular, of course, an eye always wanders over to our space. So, you know, like our space has to mature a lot. And as you said earlier, I think Vibe is a big part of that. Um, uh, if you would just see the space as a whole, Lafa, just you know, a couple of words here to finish this stream, what would you say in general is just missing? You know, like what do we need to get back to have, you know, a DeFi summer or, um, uh, you know, something where we can get the people back that we have maybe lost in this space because of too many rug pulls or other issues we had?
as I said before, I think there is no DeFi at the moment. All we can do is list some tokens. You know, that's it. Vibe is here to change that. So I think, yeah, currently what you need is something like Vibe. Afterwards, I don't know. I haven't thought about it. You know, I was busy helping you guys build Vibe.
Yeah,
So
you know, sometimes
I can
maybe like
I can
you
tell
always
you
have.
afterwards.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I
Let's
think
finish
you
Vibe
should
and
solve
then.
like one problem after the other. It's like obviously people never do that. Like once Uniswap came out, actually it should have been clear to everyone else that logical next step that we have to take is how do we get derivatives for all of these Uniswap assets? That is like the only next thing. Everything else is like kind of distraction. Doing something like a filler episode. If you're watching something like One Piece, then there's like one episode with story and then ten filler episodes and then again some story. I would say Uniswap was the main story, and now Vibe is the next one, and everything in between was kind of a filler story. Also, all of these on-chain order books, they're just again they're not really different to what Binance offers.
Hmm.
Binance just offers exactly the same.
Yeah, yeah. I get. I
Mhm.
mean, it's like it's all. I always compare the perps markets to like the car market. If the car market would be only one car, Hyperliquid build it, and now everybody's just slapping different colors on and different rims and selling it as a new car. It's still the same car. So we got to build on top of the car, and basically like bring the space a little further. I guess that's what builders always have to do. That's why we always also have a big
Generally,
mass.
I think
Sorry?
I think what Hyperliquid is doing is awesome, and
Yeah,
institutional liquidity and having these perps for handful of markets is great, but it
yeah.
doesn't really solve that problem that we created when we launched Uniswap. Um, so I didn't mean
Solves other
Binance or
problems,
Hyperliquid.
right?
It solves like this specific niche problem, which is that
Yeah.
you want to have like a deep liquidity market for 50 assets where every market maker is part of. It
Hmm.
doesn't solve that other issue, which is what about these 10 million tokens that are getting launched? And look, it's like there were 50 million tokens launched that were useless. Imagine how many tokens gonna be launched once they aren't useless anymore. That's like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
guys, I
I
guess
see
you
that.
wanna.
Yes, yes. We are ending the stream as always, very, very on point. There will be times where we do much longer streams, but like for people stopping by for a whole hour during their very, very busy day, we want to keep it to a minimum. Um, uh, so, first of all, guys, thank you very much for stopping in. As always, appreciated. We listed Kins, by the way, and the other tokens are already coming live one by one, such as Dead, for example. Feel free to check us out on Twitter, give us a follow. Feel free to check out Sim as well. And there's also some other cool front ends that you can always check out. If you want to list a token or if you want access to the closed beta on Vibe, if you want to trade, try out, give us some nice feedback, please let us know. Hit us up, send us a message, and we'll give you access and you can try it out. So, with that being said, thank you very much, Lafa, today for coming in, for, giving us a little bit of wisdom to what the market really needs and why Vibe fills basically that void. It's always good to hear it from people that are a little bit more on the outside, having a wider view. Not like us being in the trenches building Vibe. We always need a little bit of a outside voice of reason. So you taught us very, very well today. Thank you very much for that. I hope you come and stop by again in the next coming weeks. Um, uh, I'll leave the last words of the stream to you, Lafa, to our honored guest, and you're closing it up, basically.
Okay, yeah. I think I've said enough. It's really, I can just repeat it again. And I've been talking about this to a lot of smart friends, is that it really all comes down to connecting those that have assets to those that want exposure. And that's the most basic financial need. No financial market can exist without a platform that connects these two. Vibe is now building it, and it will usher the industry into a new era. And I guess everyone who was listening today on this call uh, can be part of that. you can be part of that new era of DeFi by just onboarding some people, listing tokens yourself, and telling others that have assets that they can now earn yield on them. So, and the coolest thing is that Vibe will actually reward you a lot. The referral program that will be coming up, everyone who helped grows the platform will be on the side that has a lot of assets in the end. Good.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Rafa. Thank you very much, guys, for stopping by. You have a wonderful rest of your day. Big love, and we'll see you again on Friday this week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. And thank you, Thiago, for always producing a wonderful
Bye.
show here.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.